Hi, this is Javan Kharod, a production chemical engineer by profession, going to continue our today's topic, distillation overview, in a short questions. What is distillation and its purpose? Distillation is used to purify a compound by separating it from non-volatile or less volatile material. When different compounds in a mixture have the different boiling point, they separate into individual components when the mixture equally distillate. What is process of simple distillation? In a simple distillation, a homogeneous liquid mixture is boiled, the rising vapor then enter the inner chamber of water-cooled condenser. The vapor condenses to a liquid called distillate, which is then collected in a separate vessel. What are two processes of distillation? The distillation refining consists two processes of distilling and condensation. Reflex distillation is usually carried out in distillation column. The gas liquid two phase flow through a counter current contact the phase heat and masters. Now, how does distiller work? The water distiller boils the water, turning it into steam. The steam is then condensed and cooled, returning it back to a liquid state. Anything that cannot turn into steam like mineral and microorganism is left behind. How do you do distillation? The separating the solvent from a solution, simple distillation. Salt solution is heated, water evaporates and its vapor rise. The water vapor passes into the condenser where it cools and condensed liquid water drip into breaker. All the water have evaporated from the salt solution, leaving the salt behind. How do you perform a distillation? Very important questions. The process of distillation begins with heating a liquid to boiling point. The liquid evaporates, forming a vapor. The vapor is then cooled, usually passing it through pipe or tube at lower temperature. The cooled vapor then condenses, forming a distillate. How do you distill something? When distilling, you heat up the solution so that the component with the lowest boiling point evaporate first, leaving the other solute behind. The vaporized component in the gaseous state can then collected in a different container by condensation and is called distillate. What is equipment needed for distillation? There are essential pieces, the distillation equipment needed to carry out the process reboiler or port use to heat the sources, liquid condenser and heated vapor is cooled back to a liquid state. Now, move further. How many types of distillation? There are simple distillation, fractional distillation, steam distillation, vacuum distillation, zone distillation, air sensitive vacuum distillation, salt bath distillation. There are certain types. What are two processes of distillation? The process that realize on cycle of heating, vaporization, condensation and cooling a liquid of a lower boiling point will vaporize before a liquid of higher boiling point. The vapor is then collected in condenser where it cooled, returning to its liquid phase for collection. What are fractional distillation process? In a fractional distillation, a mixture of liquid is boiled and resulting vapor travel a glass tube called a fractional column or fractionating column. To separate the fractionating column is placed between the flask containing the mixture and wide adapter and improve the separation between the liquid being distilled. Now, example, the fractional distillation. The separation of various components of crude oil is one of the very common example. The fractional distillation in industries, paraffin bag, diesel lubricating oil, gasoline, kerosene and naphtha. They are substances that crude oil contains. What is function of fractional distillation? The fractional distillation is a process by which components in a chemical mixture they separate into different parts According to that, different boiling point, fractional distillation is used to purify chemical and separate mixture to obtain their component. What is difference between distillation and fractional distillation? Distillation is method used to isolate boiling point liquid and consists a gap of at least 50 degree. Fractional distillation is method used to isolate liquid which boil closer in order to produce pure component. The process must be replaced the many times. What is fractional distillation of petrol? The process, the separating various components, the petroleum from one to another is known refining of petroleum. This is done the process called fractional distillation, which is based on fact the different components of petroleum have distinctively different boiling point. What is steam distillation process? The steam distillation is carried out the passing dry steam through the plant material whereby steam volatile compound their vaporized contents and collect reservoir. Steam distillation has been used essential oil extraction for many years. Now, where steam distillation used? The most common use steam distillation is the extraction the natural product from the plant material. This is main industrial method for obtaining plant essential oil. Use the fragrance and personal hygienic product. What is produced by steam distillation? The steam distillation of biomass generally yield two products relatively high purity essential oil and aqueous condensate called hydrosol. The oil contains hydrophobic, the aromatic compound. They are produced in very small concentration as secondary metabolite in the plant. Can steam distillation be used with solid basis? The separation, steam distillation, while water and organic condensed phase, they are immiscible. The vapor of both are miscible. One of the condensed, the two separate, again allowed it for easy separation. As noted above, both liquid and solid can be distilled by steam. Can aniline be purified by steam distillation? Aniline is purified using a process, the steam distillation, because aniline is steam volatile and is insoluble in water. What is azeotropic distillation? The azeotrope are binary mixture of the solution, the same composition, in its both phase, liquid phase and vapor phase, and that have constant boiling point during the whole distillation process. Example, a mixture of the ethanol and water in which ethanol is 95% by volume. Give example, the azeotropic distillation. There are certain common examples. The azeotropic distillation is dehydrating ethanol and water mixture, type of azeotrope, minimum boiling azeotrope, the non-ideal solution shown in positive deviation from minimum boiling azeotrope, special composition, the maximum boiling azeotrope, and there are certain various examples of the azeotropic distillation. Why entrainer used in azeotropic distillation? Define that. Several entrainers can be used for specific process: benzene, pentane, cyclohexane, hexane, heptane, isooctane, acetone, and diethyl ether. They are all options as mixture. This mixture can separate process the azeotropic distillation. Now, is methanol and water form an azeotrope? Important question. On mixing, this two liquid does not form azeotrope. Also, methanol does not form azeotrope with water, whereas ethanol form an azeotrope with it. Now, what is maximum boiling azeotrope? Give an example. Solution of chloroform and acetone is example of maximum boiling azeotrope. What is azeotropic mixture? The azeotrope is a mixture that has constant boiling point, whose vapor has been same composition as the liquid. Now, move further. Why benzene used in azeotropic distillation? In addition to material separation agent such as benzene and ethanol, heated Water mixture changes the molecular interaction and eliminate the azeotrope added in liquid phase. The new component can be altered, the activity coefficient, the various components, the different way, those altering the mixture relative quality. What is distillation vacuum? The vacuum distillation is a process to lowering the pressure in the column above the solvent to less than the vapor pressure of mixture, creating a vacuum and causing element with lower vapor pressure to evaporate off. What is basic principle of vacuum distillation? The vacuum distillation is method of distillation where the process above the liquid mixture to be distilled is reduced to less than the vapor pressure, usually less than atmospheric pressure, causing evaporation of the most volatile liquid with the lower boiling point. Now, what are advantage to vacuum distillation? The primary advantage to vacuum distillation is that allow for distilled heavier material at lower temperature than those that would be required at atmospheric pressure. Those avoid thermal cracking of the compound. How does vacuum distillation purify organic compound? At reduced pressure, the distillation performed at reduced pressure using a water aspirator. The mechanical pump, since boiling point of liquid, they are depressed at reduced pressure. Organic compound can distill at lower temperature. How does vacuum distillation lower boiling point? Boiling commences when the vapor pressure of liquid or solution equal the external or applied pressure contained atmospheric pressure. Those it applied, the pressure is reduced, the boiling point of the liquid decreases. How does distillation purify a mixture, the different liquid? The distillation use purify a compound by separating from non-volatile or less volatile material. When different compounds in a mixture have a different boiling point, they separate into individual components when mixture carefully distilled. What is air sensitive vacuum distillation? Define that. A Parkin triangle is specified apparatus for distillation air sensitive material. Some of compounds have high boiling point. They are sensitive to air. A simple vacuum distillation system can be used where vacuum is replaced with an inert gas after distillation is complete. Okay guys, this is up to short question of the distillation. I hope you get something know about distillation and its overview. I hope you gain knowledge by watching this video. Still then, goodbye. Next chapter we cover another chemical engineering topic.